Hey fellows, it's Sven again, and today I want to do a little video concerning whether you use your thumb up the fretboard or not. And this is really a topic that a lot of you take very serious, and even some people say, "Oh, this is a mistake. You shouldn't use your thumb up the fretboard." So let me say first, not only in gypsy jazz, but in all kinds of music of the 20th century, it's very common to use the thumb up here. You know, Hendrix would play like Purple Haze, like... And all the guitarists, you know, they do it all the time when they play funky riffs, like... using the thumb on the bass. The reason why they do that is because they can keep in this very comfortable hand position, which is important when you play rhythm guitar for a long time. For all solo things, you know, like fingerstyle or whatever, there are a lot of situations where the bar chord might be better, but it's not a question if you play bar chords or if you play thumb position or the thumb up the fretboard. It's just that you need to learn both techniques, in my view, because if you look at really the best players that play music from the 20th century, non-classical players like Tommy Emmanuel, he's using the thumb a lot up the fretboard for many chords, and that doesn't mean that he can't play bar chords, of course. You know, players who do that do it for a good reason. There are even chords that can't be played without using the thumb up the fretboard. For example, if I like that major 7 chord voicing and I want to have a low bass in there, I need my thumb. There is no other way to do it. If I would move my finger up here, I would always have to give up a note. I could do it very stressy with, like, you know, there is the possibility to have a bar chord like this, but the easiest version is taking the thumb. And also the thumb gives you freedom to move the other fingers below a lot more flexible than it would be possible in a bar chord. Just imagine you're a finger-picking player and you're having this F chord here. So with this F chord, if you play songs, you know, the hand is kind of dead. You just play the bar chord and that's it. If you use your thumb while picking, you have the possibility to do... You could play the whole scale actually, like... and use all the notes. And this is important if you play stuff like... And this is why all the players do it. So, and in gypsy jazz, the basic reason is to save energy. Because if you are a rhythm player, and you're really a rhythm player, in gypsy swing that exists. And this is a very... a highly honored job, because there are guys like Nushi Rosenberg, Ono Winterstein, who are really formidable gypsy jazz players, and great guitarists all over the planet admire their work and absolutely, you know, see how much, what virtuosity is required to do that actually. And they use it to play relaxed throughout the 7 minutes of really playing a blasting rhythm guitar. You know, when you have a challenging pace and you really play like 1, 2, 1. Then it's really important to have like a relaxed position for the left hand to be able to provide that groove, like 7 minutes for 3 or 4 soloists, something like that. Still, there is an option to play all the chord voicings differently. And this is really like, that's what this video is about. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is like one of the most basic gypsy jazz chords is, for example, I'm in the key of A now, so I'm in the middle of the fretboard, very comfortable position. I play A6-9 chord. This is the A6-9 that we play in gypsy jazz. My thumb is playing the root, then we got 2 fingers here. We got the 3rd on the G string with the index, and the ring finger is playing like 6th and 9th. So instead of doing this in the normal bar chord position, this chord would be very recommended. So you play with the index, the root, the A string is muted, and then you got to play the root again on the D string, 3rd, and the pinky is playing the 6th. So this is an A6. And this is fine. Let's say we play like Django's Tiger, and it should sound like, with that chord you get the sound as well. Sounds slightly different, but it's okay. Another option without using the thumb to play any notes would be playing the middle strings, playing E, A, C sharp and F sharp. You still need your thumb to mute the E string, but even then, if you have a classical guitar, for example, you could use the middle finger to slightly touch the E string and keep out the sound of the low E string here. So this is also possible. So first option, first alternative, second alternative. These are all good and they are both working. So for the dominant 7 chord in A, it would be played like this, for example. With the thumb here, 5th fret, A string is muted, then we get like G, C sharp and E. So what you do is pretty easy. You take the index finger playing A, middle finger is taking the G, the pinky is playing C sharp, the 3rd, and the 5th is provided by the ring finger. Absolutely working, no problem about that. Some gypsy players play the A dominant 7 like this. Me too, I do this a lot because I like the sound. These are the same notes than the bar chord. If you compare it, look. The only difference is the high E string, which I absolutely don't like as a sound in the chord. So to avoid it, I play the whole chord like this. But if you don't want to do that, you know, the bar chord is also fine. This is something that it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the exact way that all the gypsy jazz players play. But let's say all the little details that make a style, if you leave them away step by step, you know, the more you will get away from an authentic sound, and the more you concentrate on every little detail, the more it will be it. I think this is pretty logically, actually. But of course you can use the bar chord here as well. And also with the dominant 7 chords, gypsy players play it like this. Also very tricky. We have the thumb as the root, then the middle finger is playing again, 5th and the root, the index is playing the 3rd, and the pinky is playing the 7th. And this chord is difficult. Some players play it like this, with 2 fingers here, middle finger having the 5th, ring finger having the octave, and then C sharp and G like this. And still here you can play like this chord. It's the same that we had for A6, just with the pinky out here. Also absolutely working and absolutely okay. And stuff like that can always be done. You know, there is no need to use the thumb, but it's typical in the style. And if you can do it and if you can practice it, because all these little details make the difference. You know, there are a lot of these details also in lead guitar. You know, sometimes people ask why Django played this lick with just 2 fingers. Okay, he had just 2 fingers, but he had only 2 fingers. And people ask why all the players also do this lick like instead of just playing. But the reason is, if you play it exactly like Django did with the same fingering, it will still not sound exactly like Django, because it's so much. It's the guitar, it's the way you pick and everything. But the more you leave away and the more you go away from the original kind of playing something, the less it will sound like the style. And I think if you want to play style, then it's really recommended to learn all these little details. Next thing is people say like it's not only about the thumb, it's also like what people say is I can't play 2 strings with 1 finger. Not in a bar chord sense, but in a playing between the strings sense. And this is done a lot, and this is also something that I recommend. In the beginning it takes really some practice, because you probably have never done that before if you're watching this video. You know, for example, if you look at Tommy Emmanuel, who's not a gypsy player at all, when he plays the E minor chord, he plays it like this, or A minor like this. And that gives you a huge freedom, because so many fingers are free then. You know, it's logical. The less fingers you need to play a chord, the more you can do with the other remaining fingers and stuff like that. And this is why you should definitely do that. And so I hope that I could encourage you to, you know, go to that point and try to do that, because it's like there's almost nothing that you cannot learn. And I was same as you. I grew up not with gypsy jazz. I grew up with rock music, with classical music, and I learned these chord voicings too. And I know the feeling when a chord really feels like alien. But to my experience, it's if you do it and if you make it sound crappy in the beginning for just a couple of weeks, it will turn out to be good. And till now, that always worked. So, and probably it's working for you too. Yeah, I hope you like that advice, and if not, please tell me. Subscribe to my channel, and feel free also to write to me and ask for private lessons if you want to know more about gypsy jazz, about the way of playing chords or also melody. And yeah, this was Sven Jungbeck for you. Bye.